Kunja Bihari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Sing one bhajan, huh? Bhajan. Thaatala Shaikate. T-A, T-A. T-A-T-A-L-A. Yes. Thaatala shaikate bari bindu sama Sutamita Ramani Samaye. Thaatala shaikate bari bindu sama Thaatala shaikate bari bindu sama Sutamita Ramani Samaye. Thaatala shaikate bari bindu sama Sutamita Ramani Samaye. Tohe visari mana tahe samarpala अब मुझो हब कौन खाजे तोहे विसारी माना ताहे समर्पल अब मुझो हब कौन खा माधवा हम परिणाम निराशा माधवा हम परिणाम निराशा माधवा हम परिणाम निराशा तू जगतारना दीन दयामय अतः तुहारी विषयाशा तू जगतारना दीन दयामय अतः तुहारी विषयाशा आदा जनम हम निंदे गोयायालुन जरा शिशु कोटो दिन गेला निंदे गोयायालुन जरा शिशु कोटो दिन गेला निदुवाने रामानी रसरंगे माताला তোহে খোঁজাব কোন বেলা, নিধুবানে রামানি রসরঙ্গে মাতালা, তোহে বাজাব কোন মাধবা হম পরিণাম নিরাশা, মাধবা হম পরিণাম নিরাশা, মাধবা হম পরিণাম নিরাশা। কোট চতুরানন মারি মারি যাবো তা, না তো ইয়াদি অবসানা। কোট চতুরানন মারি মারি যাবো তা, না তো ইয়াদি তোহে জানামি পুনঃ তোহে সমাবত, সাগর লহরি সমানা। বানায়ে বিদ্যাপতি শেষ সমান বই, তুয়া বিনা গতি নাহি আরা। বানায়ে বিদ্যাপতি শেষ সমান বই, তুয়া বিনা গতি নাহি আরা। আদি অনাদি কানাতা কাহায়াসি, भवतारण बर तुहारा। आदि अनादि का नाथ कहायासि, भवतारण। You can read translation. Have mic.
But this experience has been just like offering a drop of water onto burning hot sand of the beach. How can I possibly be relieved of this great misery?
O Madhava, as a consequence, I am rendered totally despondent. You are the savior of the universe and are merciful to the helpless souls. Therefore, I place my hope only in you.
Wandering about in a half-alive condition, I spent my life in utter disgrace. Uncountable days passed as a frivolous child and a useless old man. I have been intoxicated by the pleasure of sharing romantic adventures with beautiful young women. When will I ever get a chance to worship you?
Numberless Brahmas have died one after another, whereas you are without beginning or end. All of them take birth from you and are again absorbed in you, just like the waves in the ocean.
Vidyapati confesses that now, at the end of his life, he is fearful of death. O Lord, there is no shelter other than you. You will always remain celebrated as being the Lord of both beginning and the beginningless. Now, responsibility for my deliverance from the material world is entirely yours.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 14th chapter, the disappearance of Lord Krishna. Text 3. You all can repeat after me. Kalasya cha. It's not coming. Gatim Raudram Viparyasta Ritu Dharmina Papiyasim Nrinam Vartam Krodha Lobha Andrita Atmanam Kalasya cha gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Papiyasim nunam vartam Krodha lobhandritatmanam Kalasya cha gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Papiyasim nunam vartam Krodha lobhandritatmanam Kalasya cha gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Papiyasim nunam vartam Krodha lobhandritatmanam. Please recite. Gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Papiyasim nunam vartam Viparyastartu dharmina Papiyasim nunam Krodha lobhandritatmanam. Please. Kalasya cha gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Some more? Somebody else can recite more? Kalasya cha gatim raudram Viparyastartu dharmina Kalasya of eternal time, cha also, gatim direction, raudram fearful, viparyasta reversed, ritu seasonal, dharmina regularities, papiyasim sinful, nunam of the human being, vartam means of livelihood. Krodha, anger. Lobha, greed. Anrita, falsehood. Atmanam, the people. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. He saw that the direction of eternal time had changed, and this was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry, and deceitful, and he saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. Purport. When civilization is disconnected from the loving relation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, symptoms like changes of seasonal regulations, foul means of livelihood, greed, anger, and fraudulence become rampant. The change of seasonal regulations refers to one season's atmosphere becoming manifest in another season. For example, the rainy seasons being transferred to autumn, or the fructification of fruits and flowers from one season in another season. A godless man is invariably greedy, angry, and fraudulent. Such a man can earn his livelihood by any means, black or white. During the reign of Maharaja Yudhishthira, all the above symptoms were conspicuous by their absence, but Maharaja Yudhishthira was astonished to experience even a slight change in the godly atmosphere of his kingdom. And at once he suspected the disappearance of the Lord. Foul means of livelihood implies deviation from one's occupational duty. There are prescribed duties for everyone, such as the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But anyone who deviates from his prescribed duty and declares another's duty to be his own is following a foul and improper duty. A man becomes too greedy for wealth and power when he has no higher objective in life, when he thinks that this earthly life of a few years is all in all. Ignorance is the cause for all these anomalies in human society, and to remove this ignorance, especially in this age of degradation, the powerful sun is there to distribute light in the shape of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Om Ajnānatimirandasya Jnānāñjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamcha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 14th chapter, the disappearance of Lord Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Please bless me so that whatever I have read or heard, I can repeat some of those words. So we are in 14th chapter. We see in previous chapter that Dhritarashtra quits home with Gandhari also follows to forest, and Yudhishthira Maharaj was in lamentation. Narada comes and he enlightens him more. And now in these chapters, how Krishna left this planet is talking here. And the first words is talks, Sukadeva Goswami said, Arjuna went to Dwaraka to see Lord Sri Krishna and other friends, and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. So Krishna came to this planet. So what all activities he did? First activity is that the Mahabharata war, and his mission is to annihilate miscreants and protect the pious devotees. So one activity is Mahabharata war, and that is done. And second activity is that he enthroned Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne. He made Yudhishthira Maharaj as a king of the entire world, and Pandavas are assisting Yudhishthira Maharaj. That is second activity. The third has happened that now Vidura came and enlightened, and he enlightened Dhritarashtra, and he went to forest. So like that, now Arjuna went to Dwaraka to ask what is Krishna's next activity. He went so, and the second words, it talks about a few months passed and Arjuna did not return. Maharaj Yudhishthira then began to observe some inauspicious omens which were fearful in themselves. So it's been 7 months. How many months? 7 months that Arjuna went to Dwaraka. Still he has not returned. So he is asking whom? Whom Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking? He is asking Bhima. So where is Arjuna? Did Krishna disappear from this world? So he was asking this to Bhima. Now these words talks about, he saw that the direction of eternal time had changed. This was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry and deceitful. And he saw that they were adapting foul means of livelihood. So he's seeing some inauspicious things, and he's seeing some changes in his kingdom. He's finding some things which he never saw in his kingdom. Like, people are becoming greedy, angry and deceitful. Just like, you see when there is a power, we see lights, the fans are functioning, so many things are happening. But as soon as the power is off, the objects looks black, things will become black. Similarly, the age of Kali, as soon as Krishna has disappeared, the age of Kali is known as dark age. And dark age means people quarrel each other. There are many symptoms which are mentioned in Bhagavatam, 12th canto, symptoms of Kali Yuga. Now we see here people will become greedy, angry and deceitful. Seasonal regularities change. Disruption means it's not on time. It's cyclically change. Like I was hearing, when I was in college, one of my friend, he has a lot of land. Recently we were doing Sankirtan. So fortunately we visited that place. So in the college days he was telling we had so much left land. I told, oh, that's great. You have so much of land means you can grow a lot of food. You don't have any scarcity. So he said, but there were no rains. We have to go deep into the, to get water, we have to go we have to bore a lot to get water from, so deep we have to go. They were doing and they were going more and more deep to get the water. He was telling there are no rains in our area. Then I was surprised. Who is such a nice person? Why there are nodes in his area? Why he has to go in so much deep? That time I did not realize why these things happen. But recently when we visited that area, I saw so many cows. They were selling for slaughterhouses. Shri Radha Madhav ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai Sudarshan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So beautiful deities, huh? So we are very fortunate to get such a beautiful darshan. So, fortunately we went there, and it was summer actually, it is. Not that much also. But that area, it was so hot. I was thinking, my Lord, what is this area? Is it so hot? And we were doing Sankirtan and we were going slowly. We went to that market. There so many cows and bulls. They were sending them to slaughterhouses. And I was literally, oh my Lord, this is the situation of India people. And I asked, how often you bring the cows here? They were telling every Wednesday or Thursday they bring the cows, then they sell. They sell not only to Indian communities or Indian states, but they sell to other countries also. This is something unfortunate situation. Because actually human prosperity depends on cow protection and the growing of grains. Prabhupada says, we cannot eat nuts and bolts. People are manufacturing so many, factories. They are every day, you see so many factories, they come up, and so many people, they leave their villages, they come to cities just to earn few rupees. In factories they work, they leave their natural occupation. Like Vaishyas are meant for growing the food and taking care of the cows, and they leave their villages and they come to cities just for earning few rupees. And so if everybody is coming towards city just earning and sitting in front of, then what about the bare necessities of life, food grains and milk? So I was hearing some lectures, so one of the Prabhuji is telling, in Indonesia they were doing some research, how to do farming. So the Indonesian people, they came together and they made a list how to do farming. So they were asking suggestions. So then they came to conclusion. They were in dilemma that what to use, whether to use tractors or to use bulls for doing field, whether to use cows or bulls. So then they were seeing the advantages and disadvantages of doing farming. So now you see, when we do farming with tractors, now tractors can function for how many years? For some years, maybe, or 30, 40 years hardly, right? After that again you have to purchase new tractor, right? So that is there. And not only that, when tractor is running in the fields, there is so much pollution from the tractor, right? Like they use diesel and all. So there is a pollution and there is a air pollution, and that is also there. And because of using tractors, now instead of employing some people in that activity, now that 10 people activity is done by alone one tractor. Now these 10 people, they are unemployed. They don't know what to do. That is there. And here, if you see, one situation is that people are becoming unemployed, and another situation is that because of using tractor, there is a air pollution, which in turn, the same air we have to breathe, which we don't see all these things. The same is, air is we are going to breathe, and that will bring health issues. And land will also become unfertile. They use that land again and again. They don't use they use chemicals like urea. I've seen in my childhood, they bring urea bags and they throw like anything in the fields. Practically we are eating the chemical food. We don't see, although it appears like they're rice grains, but what is there inside? It is just urea and so many other things. That is there. They found these things. And another thing they saw that now let us take cows. Now when the bulls are used while doing ploughing, they also pass urine and stool. while doing also. So that itself becomes a, what do we say? Fertilizer. It acts as fertilizer, and the earth will not become unfertile. The fertility of the earth increases when we use bulls. And not only that, now there are cows and bulls, they will keep on producing their cows and bulls, and they will go on producing. You don't have to purchase again and again and you don't have to replace. Just like tractor, for some years it's gone and again you have to purchase. And there is no question of again investing the money for purchasing cows and bulls. They will go on producing. This is a natural cycle that is there. And in turn, humans, they also get milk. They get a healthy food. Now Brahmanas, bulls are ploughing and Brahmanas are doing yajna, and the rains will be there. And because of rains, we get rains. We see from Gita, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadana sama. By doing yajna, we get rains. By the rains, like one person has asked, I don't believe in Gita. Then Prabhupada said, why you don't believe in Gita? Krishna says in Gita, because of rains, you get grains. Is that wrong? This statement is always correct. So that's what Krishna is telling. Because of rains, you get grains. So where is wrong in that? So what is not there to act, doesn't act, means it's perfect. It's perfect. So you cannot say, I don't believe. You have to accept this fact. So because of rains, we get grains. And when the rains are eaten by human beings, then they become healthy. Then there is a cooperation between the demigods. There's a natural cycle it is. But we are introducing something, artificial things, in the name of tractors. So they came to a conclusion that we should use cows and bulls for farming instead of tractors. Very nice, no? This is in Indonesia. Now, another situation, His Grace Harishoru Prabhu is telling. In China, he was traveling. He was seeing outside. There are no birds practically. Birds. And he was surprised. What is this country? There are no birds. So he wanted to know what is the reason behind these things. Then he came to know that China, there are some people, they thought while doing farming, these birds are coming and eating the grains in the fields. So they want more. Like greed means what? They want more and more. That's what the meaning of greed. Greed meaning is they want more and more. So they wanted to grow more grains. So they found that these birds are coming and eating the grains. So they wanted to stop the birds to come and eat the grains. So what they did is they kept a sonic mission, which is invented by the so-called materialistic people. So they brought that sonic mission. So they keep in the fields, in that area. So that sonic mission releases certain kind of vibrations. So when the birds come in that area, because of that sound vibration, the birds fall on the ground and they die. And they found, oh, it's very nice. Okay, birds are, now there is no more disturbance because of birds. Because of this machine, all birds are going to die. It's very good, we will get a lot of production. But at the end, they found they lost all the grains, almost. You know why? There are insects which are there in the fields, they were eating more grains than the birds. And they were eating, and if there are birds sometimes sees those insects also, if they are in the fields. And there is not much loss. So because of this thing, because of insects are creating more trouble than the birds. And they eat almost all grains. So in that way they lost all. Now they want to introduce, if they want to bring the birds, different kinds of birds, now how much difficult it is. It's not that 1-2 kinds of birds. There are different kinds of birds, they come and fly, you can see in the fields. Different kinds of birds they come. So now they lost all the birds, and it's a nature's arrangement that these birds are there in the nature. But spoiled intelligence, when we use our intelligence in a misuse way, then there is a havoc. There is a havoc. So, this Kali Yuga especially is characterized as people become too much greedy, too much anger, and they become so pride. So, Maharaj Yudhishthira, observing all these women, spoke to his younger brother, like I was hearing, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu was telling, before this age, before Kali Yuga, there was one time one landlord, he sold his land to another landlord, another person. So as soon as this person got this land, so while he was digging, he found there is a pot. So he found there is a golden coins in that. Then he thought, okay, what should I do now with these golden coins? I purchased from this person, so it must belong to him because I purchased, but these coins were there previously only. So it must belong to him. So he went to that landlord to ask whose coins is. So he went to him and he said, I found these coins in my field, so what should I do? It must belong to you. And that person was also surprised. Okay, I sold to you this land, so we don't know whose it belongs to exactly. They were in confusion. Then both they go to king. Then the king, what he does is, he gives, there were 200 gold coins. So 100 gold coins to one landlord, 100 gold coins to this landlord. So both were happy. And what both did is, they both got 100 gold coins and each gave 25 gold coins to king as a tax. So this was situation in previous age. See how much, they are not so greedy, right? So they went to higher authority to decide a decision whose these things belong to. But the same situation it happens in Kali Yuga, like that person, he found gold coin in his field. Then he will look here and there and he will think it is mine. And the person who sold this land, hey, you found something, so it belongs to mine. So how it belongs to yours? It is mine because I purchased the land, belongs to mine. Then there is a fighting between family members and finally matter goes to the government or king. The king comes, he takes all the gold coins. Neither he got, neither. This is the situation of Kali Yuga. What the government does, it's mentioned in symptoms of Kali Yuga, government levies so much tax that people will run to forest. They flee to, they cannot pay taxes, they cannot bear this much burden on them, and they leave to forest. Government will exploit like anything. This is the situation of the government, people who are under the government practically all over the world. This is something unfortunate situation. Because the leaders are not themselves educated in the science of God. Something unfortunate. Now we see, I was hearing that a king has to do three things. P-A-W. P for protection, A for administration, W for welfare. He has to do three things. P for protection, A for administration, W for welfare. Now protection, when it comes to protection, we see the citizens, they should be protected by, now when there is a king, and he sees all situation and the citizen gets full protection from all rogues and thieves. Like we see in newspapers, many dongi sadhus, they come and they steal their jewels or gold, so many things. Practically they loot the public, rogues and thieves, because there is no protection. Even if they found thieves, they'll keep him in the jail and again they release. In the Vedic times, if a man found touching a woman's body, immediately his hand would have cut off. That's the punishment in, like that. Or some other mischief. If he found doing something wrong, there is a heavy punishment. But we don't see such things. But a king, when there is a king, there is a protection for citizens. The next thing is administration. Administration is to control all his subordinates. Like I was hearing that if they don't follow Ekadashi, the king keeps his spies. And if someone is eating food grains, then they are given punishment all over the public. So that is that much, King knows how to, like Prabhupada says, if entire world fasts at least once Ekadashi, then there is a lot of, what is that? We can say a lot of food grains. Food grains, their senses will also be controlled. And the third thing is welfare. The people are given food, clothes, shelter and all. Now we see Kali Yuga is compared with a tiger. Kali Yuga is compared with a tiger. The king is like a shepherd and the general people are innocent lambs. It's compared like that. General people are innocent lambs. The Kali Yuga is compared with a tiger and shepherd who is taking care of the lambs is a king. Now, if there is a king who is a shepherd, even if the tiger comes to eat the lambs, the king and the shepherd is there to chase the tiger whether with his weapons or gun, can shoot and can protect his lamb. The lambs are in a safe condition. Now if there is no king, now the tiger will come and attack. So that is the situation of Kali Yuga. The people are kept in ignorance. They have no superior authorities. They do whatever they like. Because they have no superior aim in their life. They think that they are this body and to satisfy the body is ultimate goal of life. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So now, to dissipate this ignorance, which people are thinking this life is all in all. Like I was hearing, His Grace Dinabandhu Baba is telling, like computer science engineers, like entire world, 60% of the population, they are into watching pornography. And what this computer science engineer has to do, 60% of these employees are engaged in that activity, how to promote this pornography. This is something very unfortunate. There's so much degradation of Kali Yuga. Degradation. So that's why what we should do as a preachers, we should propagate distribution of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam literatures. We should distribute in thousands and thousands. Like we see Atlanta devotees, they distribute like anything. The person who has never heard of hearing of Bhagavatam, he got full Bhagavatam set on the streets and he started practicing. Like we can read one offering which I liked, how the family became vegetarian, and recently this offering is done by Shivaram Swami. One boy sent to Shivaram Swami Maharaj, His Holiness. I think you must have read, but it's very interesting. I really liked it. So you all can hear very attentively. Some of you can volunteer. Sarvapriya Ram Prabhu can. You have that? It's meant, it is sent in the group. The story is sent. Book distribution, a must read. You can read. Give to Sarvapriya Ram Prabhu. God. Read. Please read. Mike is there? This is very inspiring. It's very inspiring story. How a small book can also change entire family. A book can change.
So big, Prabhu.
No, you read. Still you read. Dear Shivaram Swami Maharaj, you can. Okay, you can read from in 1992.
In 1992, I went to the Hare Krishna festival with a friend. I was not very interested, but I enjoyed the chanting and dancing at the end. After it was over, I bought a book, The Science of Self-Realization. I do not know why. Generally, I never read. I think it was because of the chanting. I took the book home and cannot remember what happened to it. One day my mother found it and was very angry with me. She thought that I was reading this kind of thing. You see, our family members are very strict Catholics. They thought that Krishna consciousness was some kind of brainwashing. Actually, I wasn't reading the book, I had forgotten all about it. Somehow it just appeared. Anyway, my mother was going to throw it away. My grandmother, who is 68, was in the kitchen at the time. She lives in the apartment upstairs. She came in and took the book. She looked at it and scolded me in a very heavy way, and I thought that would be the end of it. I did not mind so much, so I was in a lot of Maya at that time. About a week later, I overheard a conversation between my mother and grandmother. The granny was saying that this was not some ordinary book. She said that Prabhupada was saying what Jesus Christ said, and that Krishna is God. And I was very surprised. She said that we should listen to what Prabhupada said and chant Hare Krishna, because that was the real religion for this age. There was a lot of talk about how Christianity was no more and no one was following the Bible, but what Prabhupada said was pure and perfect. Things really took a turn from there. One day my grandmother visited the Namhatta, local Krishna center here, and began to chant on beats. She also began to buy Prabhupada's book one by one. She was spending all her pension buying what she called the beautiful holy Bhagavatam. Sometimes she could only afford to eat potatoes, but she kept buying the books. The devotees even came to her flat and helped her set up an altar. When I went upstairs, there was Krishna pictures everywhere. That was really the beginning. One night the granny had a dream about Prabhupada. Something really happened to her then. I don't know what it was, but she began to get very enthusiastic. Next, she began to get the whole family involved. I mean, not just me and my mother and sister, but her 2 sons, their wives, and 6 children, as well as her brothers, sisters, relatives. Before, she used to carry a Bible with her and quote Jesus Christ. Now she has a Bhagavad Gita and quotes the good Lord Prabhupada. She became veritable transcendental terror. Everyone in the family has to chant at least 1 round a day. In addition, Granny made everyone become a vegetarian, including my dog Shikra. and we offer our food to the picture of Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. Now I am also getting out of Maya and chanting and reading a little also. Where I go to school, my friends inquire about Krishna since they know I am a devotee. The whole family goes to the Namhatta, all 16 of us. During the Christmas marathon, for book distribution, we all try to distribute Prabhupada books. Even Granny would take books with her to the market and sell them to the vendors. Everyone is afraid of her because she is fearless. They all think she has gone crazy, but she doesn't care. Now she is saving to go to the Budapest to see the newly installed deities. She has heard that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda came to Hungary and are being worshipped there by the devotees. She says she wants to see God just once in this life. At this year's Hare Krishna festival, you are speaking to the guests after the kirtan. You must remember my grandmother because she came and sat right beside you and asked so many questions. At the end, when you stood to leave, she even kissed your hand. Remember? I also wanted to ask a question, but I was shy. Could I please ask you now, Maharaj? I hope you do not mind. Want to continue, Prabhu?
Little is there.
I want to know what kind of man Srila Prabhupada was. He must be so dear to Krishna to have spread this message all over the world. What are these books that changed my life so much? How is it possible that he can speak so powerfully through them? You must feel very fortunate to be his disciple. How great man he is. Sometimes when my granny chants in front of picture of Krishna, she cries. How does Prabhupada do that? I want to cry like that too. Granny dreams of Prabhupada and sometimes she talks to his picture. Although it says on the cover of the book that he passed away. Is Srila Prabhupada really dead or he is still alive? Do you think I can meet him someday? I am sorry that I have gone on so. I would like to be a good devotee one day and help you and Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness. Please could you answer my questions? Your servant Bhaktin Dora.
Thank you so much. So we see how wonderful these books are. They can only change. That's why Prabhupada stresses so much on distributing Bhagavatams, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Like one book, Science of Self-Realization. They all became vegetarians, including one dog also. So now you see, this Kali Yuga is cow-killing civilization. They don't care for cows at all. Practically, we can see in our lives when we go out. They're practically on the roads, many of the cows. So these things will save. So many cows are being saved from slaughterhouses. So many Westerners, they are taking to this practice of Krishna consciousness. So yes, Bhagavatam can save the world. So that's why we should focus on distributing more and more Bhagavatam. Says Krishne Swadhamopagate Dharma Jnana Adipisaha Puranarko Dunodita Kalonashta Drushamesha Punanarko Dunodita. So when Krishna left this planet with his with knowledge and religion, this Bhagavat Puran, which is not different from Krishna, which is as brilliant as the sun, we can get the light from this literature. People who have lost their sight because of darkness of Kali Yuga, we can get benefit from by reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So thank you all very much. If you have any corrections or comments or questions, you can please tell.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, how comes Yudhishthira knows this? How comes Yudhishthira know all these signs are like? Krishna's left.
Krishna?
How Yudhishthira
He
know
is just
exactly?
seeing some moments. He was just thinking Krishna must have left. Because as long as Krishna is there, these things will not exist. Because when Krishna was present, there is no quarrel between wife and husband, or there is no... You see, you hear Bhagavatam, it says, when Krishna is present, there was full moon. There were in water also swans, ducks, lotuses, and everybody was happy in his presence, Krishna's presence. But as soon... So he is seeing some situation, he has not concluded. So he is seeing some discrepancies in kingdom, people are quarreling, the younger one are raising the tone against superiors. Some symptoms which he has never seen, he is seeing such situations. So he is just thinking must have left. It's not yet came to conclusion. Future it will come. Okay? Someone can add something. Yes.
Presence of Krishna also it happened, no?
What? Like
Mahabharata happened in presence of Krishna only.
So that is Krishna's mission.
Duryodhana did all the wrong things. Hare Krishna. He did all the wrong things with the Pandavas. During his reign only it happened. No? Then I could not understand the difference, because big quarrel happened in that time of Krishna only.
That's why Krishna came to kill all of them by bringing all together one place. Krishna did not want to kill just one person. Like his mission is to kill in one mission, finished everyone, those who are impious. So not only Duryodhana, all over the world there were kings like that. So he brought at one place and he did Mahabharata war and he killed all those things. Now there are nobody else who are impious. Now Yudhishthira was ruling peacefully. After all impious kings have gone, now he may enthroned him.
And second question, Prabhuji, Satyayug, Dwapar Treta Yug are all pious yugas. No wrong things have happened because God existed. But in Kali Yuga, all wrong things happen. Is it because of the land of karma or karma of the people, or it is the Leela of the God?
There are so many things. It's not just Kali. Sachidananda Prabhu can answer in a better way. See, in the Satyayuga, the religiosity is 100%. Everybody is God conscious, everybody is peaceful. But when it came to next Yuga, it reduced by 25%. People are 75% of religious principles. When it came down, 50% of religious principles are only found. And it is reducing because of influence of time and circumstances, because of, like it's mentioned here, people are becoming greedy, they want more and more. Like one person has some certain kind of, opulences, so we also want that, like to maintain family and all, just to show, or else family members as force us to indulge in such activities. So because of time, people's mentality becomes so much degraded, and the karma, all these things will also be there, and so much degradation is because of one's own misuse of independence. And one more thing is that there is no knowledge of propagation of knowledge of God consciousness. These things, so many influences, because we are not propagating Krishna consciousness, and people don't have any king who can guide, and the politicians, they are themselves are uneducated, they don't have any knowledge of Krishna. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he was ruling, people were happy all the time. There was no mental distress, or you can see all these symptoms. So, but we don't find such kind of kings nowadays. And like blind man leading the blind. So both will go and fall into the ditch. So Prabhupada says, the present civilization, entire civilization, Kali Yuga, especially Kali Yuga people, they are all going to hell. They all are going to hell because they don't have any higher aim in their life. They just, after these things, being greedy, angry, lusty. Like I was hearing that the Britishers in their kingdom, he was put into jail, one of their lineages. He was not that much wealthy, but their wealth is $35 trillion. But one of them is not so much money, but he was into illicit activity. He kept him in jail. So it's because of our own misuse of independence, free will, and we don't have any higher authorities who can guide us. Like we see in ISKCON, we have Prabhupada to guide us. We are following his instructions. And when we follow certain program, then we can come out of this modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Like we see, this movement is bringing people to the Sattvaguna and above that. Without reaching that, we cannot understand God at all. And mostly the world is put into Tamoguna and Rajoguna. People are passionate and people are in ignorance. So many things influence. It's not one point we cannot exactly say. It's so many things. Time, place, circumstances. And because of their own karma also, they are kept into that. We'll end here. Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.